The team of future stars, the three Mahmoods,
welcome you all to our 4th biannual Children's Conference.
I'm Abdullah Mahmood, known as the youngest of the three Mahmoods. 2nd grader, just finished memorizing the Quran 2 days ago. Alhamdulillah.
I am Ibrahim Mahmood, known as the 2nd of the three Mahmoods. 5th grader and inshallah going to finish memorization of the Quran tomorrow. Alhamdulillah.
I am Fatima Mahmood, known as the oldest of the three Mahmoods. 7th grader, and inshallah will be finishing Quran memorization in a couple of months.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, we begin.
With peace and blessings on Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we send.
May Allah rain mercy and blessings on this occasion and on our blooming speakers.
We assure you that you will be supercharged with the soothing Quran recitation, beautiful Nasheeds, Iman-boosting skits, and inspiring talks that will connect you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, insha'Allah.
You will be enlightened with more than 30 brilliant speakers whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about in Surah Fussilat, verse 33. وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِّمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. And who is better in speech than the one who invites to Allah and does righteousness and says, indeed, I am of the Muslims.
Before we embark on this spiritual journey, let us introduce you to our MC of today's event, Tahrim Waqam. She takes a pleasure in reading various books, aspiring to one day becoming a doctor. Aside from reading, she holds a passion for photography.
Let's welcome
our MC of today's event,
Sister Tahrim.
Jazakallah khair three Mahmoods, great siblings. Congratulations, you're finishing the Quran memorization, guys. Let's begin with the recitation of Surah Al-A'la by Faiz.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sabbih isma rabbikal a'la. الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعل له غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى صدق الله العظيم.
Unseen creatures, angels created by light, performing different tasks are very important in Islam. Without believing in them, our iman is not complete. Brilliant and curious learner with great memory, Nabi Waqar, who loves cars and trucks, will enlighten us on this subject.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الدين والإسلام رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. My student letters and my brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. Today the topic of my speech is angels. Angels are the creators of Allah. Who always praise Allah. Allah created angels out of light. Angels are everywhere, but we cannot see them. It is the part of our iman to believe in angels. As it is said, "Amantu billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi wal yawmil akhir." Angels are everywhere doing different types of jobs for helping us, protecting us, and writing our good and bad deeds. The four most powerful angels are: 1. Jibreel, who brings Quran to the prophets; 2. Mikael, who brings rain to the earth; 3. Israfil, who will blow a trumpet on the last day; 4. Israel, who is the angel of death. The other important angels are Karam Kadrim, who sit on our right and left shoulder, writing our good and bad deeds. When Allah created human beings, all the angels showed respect because humans are better than angels. You know what? Except Shaitan, that's why Allah sent him out of Jannah. You know what? Sometimes a difficult job becomes easy because Allah helps us by sending the angels. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Muhammad Taha for Irish Facts, what is your Fatiha?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
Stop complaining and ponder what Allah has blessed us with so that we can be thankful and praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Today last name is going to entertain us. I'm very grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Respected guests and my dear friends, Assalamu alaikum. Today, the topic of my speech is being grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. First, I would like to talk about why it is important to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My dear friends, Allah has blessed us with so many things. We have parents, siblings, friends, good education, good health, we can speak, we can walk, we can eat and drink, etc. Indeed, we can never ever count Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings. If we want to increase our blessings, then we should be more and more grateful to Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, if you are grateful, I will surely give you more and more. Remember, my friends, Shaitan's mission is to make us ungrateful. He promised to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He would try His best to make us unthankful. So whenever we don't thank Allah, whenever we complain, we make Shaitan happy. And of course we don't want to do that. We need to remember that gratefulness leads to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, if you are grateful, He is pleased with you. Now let's talk about how we can be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. First, by our hearts. We could be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by our hearts, which means we should be truly grateful. Second, we should be grateful by our tongue. Every time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us a blessing, for example, if we get good marks on our test, we should say Alhamdulillah, and we should try to do such shukr. Third, by our actions. We can be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by offering salah. Also, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us a blessing, we must use it in a way that benefits humanity and that pleases Allah. May Allah help us all to become a grateful Muslim. Ameen. Jazakallahu khair.
The princess of the house and future physician, Khadija Muhammad, wants to give us a small reminder from this great book. Khadija will recite Surah An-Naba for us.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم عما يتساءلون عن النبأ العظيم الذي هم فيه مختلفون كلا سيعلمون ثم كلا سيعلمون ألم نجعل الأرض مهادا والجبال أوتادا وخلقناكم أزواجا وجعلنا نومكم سباتا وجعلنا الليل لباسا وجعلنا النهار معاشا وبنينا فوقكم سبعا شدادا وجعلنا سراجا وهاجا وأنزلنا من المعصرات ماء ثجاجا لنخرج به حبا ونباتا وجنات الألفافا إن يوم الفصل كان ميقاتا يوم ينفخ في الصور فتأتون أفواجا وفتحت السماء فكانت أبوابا وسيرت الجبال فكانت سرابا إن جهنم كانت مرصادا للطاغين مآبا لابثين فيها أحقابا لا يذوقون فيها بردا ولا شرابا جزاء وفاقا إنهم كانوا لا يرجون حسابا. Now I will recite the story of Surah Al-Naba. Allah has created everything. Allah has created the mountains, the earth, the heaven, the night to rest, the day to work. In day of judgment, Allah will make the heaven will be open. Allah will ask us what we did wrong, what we did right, and so we must listen to Him in this world.
Companions of the Prophet, being eyewitnesses, are the most important sources of the Hadith. Record of Muhammad ﷺ sayings and activities. There are role models. Lego and board gamer Mohit Ashrafi will now educate us on the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. Mohit Ashrafi.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I would like to tell you about the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What is a companion? According to the definition, a companion is a person who spends a lot of time with. When we say companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we don't just mean people he spend his time with. The companions are more than that, way more than that. The first of them and the closest of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu's real name was Abu Bakr Abdullah bin Abi Quhafa. He was Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's best friend even before he became prophet. He was first among the men who embraced Islam. He accompanied the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the cave of Zuhar. His daughter Aisha radiallahu anha married the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He became the first Khalifa after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was known as a soft-hearted and kind person. After Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, Umar radiallahu anhu became the Khalifa. He was also very close to the Prophet. Muslims in Makkah gained a lot of strength after Umar radiallahu anhu converted to Islam. He was a man of principle and strength. His daughter Hafsa radiallahu anha would also marry the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Usman bin Affan radiallahu anhu was one of the Ashram Mubashra, the 10 blessed ones. He was known for his modesty and generosity. He was honorable in the eyes of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That he married 2 of his daughters with him. He Ali radiallahu anhu became the fourth Khalifa after Usman radiallahu anhu. He was the first among the kids who embraced Islam. He was also the cousin of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He became the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's son-in-law. When he married Fatima radiallahu anha, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's youngest and most beloved daughter, Ali radiallahu anha, was known for his strength, courage and bravery, and he was called Asadullah. There is a long list of companions, but we can't go through all of them. What we need to remember is that they were all a beacon of light and role models for Muslims.
Charity. How can people who are poor and have no means can get the good reward of the noble act? Charity. So any begging lover will let us know how one can get the reward of a charity without much effort. Welcome Aya Hajar or Smile. Aya Hajar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My speech is about smiling. A smile is the fastest way to people's hearts and the closest door to their souls. Allah created us humans known loving the person with a smiley face. And our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had the most joyful smile. The smile was one of his most well-known solitudes. And the Prophet didn't only smile all the time, but also encouraged us to always smile when we see each other. Abi Dar says the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Tabassumuka fi wajhi akhika sadaqah." Your smile upon your brother's face is charity. Let's try our best to always smile and greet each other every time, even if we don't know each other. And in the end, I would like each one of us look to your side and smile to the person next to you. Allahumma ij'alna mina al-dhahikina wa al-mustbashirina fi al-dunya wa al-akhirah. Ameen. Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallahu khair, sister, for such a beautiful reminder. When you start memorizing the 99 names of Allah and try to understand their glory, then you start doing what you were created for. In nature lover, who's your call? Izan Kalam or Asma Husna? Izan Kalam.
There are the 99 names of Allah. The names of Allah, He will get the big house in Jannah. Al-Rahman, Al-Rahim, Al-Malik, Al-Quddus, Al-Salam, Al-Mu'min, Al-Muhaymin, Al-Aziz, Al-Jabbar, Al-Mutakabbir, Al-Khaliq, Al-Bari, Al-Mustaqahar, Al-Wahhab, Al-Alim.
If Quran is your map, you'll never lose your way. It'll intercede for a person who reads it. We have among us a very young, sweet, talented star who loves reciting and memorizing the Quran. Let's welcome Yusuf for the recitation of Surah Al-Adab. Yusuf?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Allah says, whenever the Quran is recited to you, listen to it quietly so that you may receive mercy. 4-year-old Khadija Ahmed will read Surah Al-Fil. Khadija Ahmed.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لم تعرف كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل ألم يروا الكيد في تنزيل فأرسل عليهم طيرا أبابيل ترميهم بحجارة من سجيل فجعلهم كعصف مأكول.
لله خالق كل شيء وهو الواحد القهار. Say Allah is the creator of all things, and He is the one, the prevailer. A group of kids, Ayan, Huzaifa, Amina, Aisha, Zainab, Arham, Hassan, Aiza, and Samira, now sing Allah made everything.
Long, long ago, before the dinosaurs, about 400 million years ago, trees were the first thing to appear on the planet. One seed equal to no exact value. And that is how everything was created.
Didn't Allah make everything?
Yes. Yes. This is what we must tell the whole entire world. We must tell them that Allah made everything.
Hey, little fish in the bottom of the ocean, moving along in a really cool motion. Did you ever wonder where you came from? Who is the Lord of all creation? The little fish said, that's my love. The little fish said, that's my love. The little fish said, that's my lord. Allah, the creator of us all. Hey, little bird, so way up high, light up the sky with your colored design. Tell me who made you and I, me to walk and you to fly. The little bird said, that's my love. The little bird said, don't deny him, but who is the one that you rely on? Life or death, who is deciding? The lion said, that's my Lord, the lion said, that's my Lord, the lion said, that's my Lord, the one, the creator of us all. Allahu Akbar, our creator, there's no one greater than Allah. So why do we stand tall, too proud to recognize what's right before our eyes? Signs from the Lord. Hey my brother, hey my sister, see yourself as self-sustaining, but don't you see what will come later? We all return to the Creator, then we'll say, that's my Lord, then we'll say, that's my Lord, then we'll say, that's my Lord, oh Allah, forgive us all. I travel the world, north to the south, east to the west, and there ain't no doubt. Whoever I see, whatever I found, I can hear them sing out loud. Alhamdulillah, praise my Lord, Alhamdulillah, praise my Lord, Alhamdulillah, praise my Lord, Allah, the creator of us all. Allahu Akbar, our creator, there's no one greater than Allah. So why do we stand tall, too proud to recognize what's right before our eyes? Signs from the Lord, 'cause Allah made everything, Allah made everything, Allah made everything, you and I. Allah made everything, Allah made everything, Allah made everything, the earth and the blue sky. But do we remember Him? Thank Him for everything. Surrender to only Him with all our lives. Allah.
What a performance. Jazakallah khair. The greatest human being who ever walked on this earth, who brought us to light from darkness. A young and bright speaker will connect us with this man, future artist Dara Hassan, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Dara Hassan.
Respectful guests and my dear friends, Assalamu alaikum. The topic of my speech is our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not an ordinary man. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given him a special mission. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We have sent you as mercy to all. He was mercy for all of humanity and all the world, not just those who follow him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked him to invite everyone to Islam, but only a few people in Mecca actually listened to him. People tried to stop him from preaching. They made things difficult for him. Many Muslims were even tortured by the Quraysh, but the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not give up. He was even very kind to them. He was worried for everyone. He wanted nobody to go on hellfire. His heart was always stressed for those who were misguided by the shaitan. He used to cry all night for them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned his condition in the Quran. فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ عَلَىٰ آثَارِهِمْ إِن لَّمْ يُؤْمِنُوا بِهَٰذَا الْحَدِيثِ أَسَفًا. Perhaps you would kill yourself in grief over their footsteps because they believe not in this narration. One day, the Prophet ﷺ decided to travel to the city of Taif to see if the people there would listen to him. But they were in no mood to listen to anything about Tawheed. They insulted Prophet Muhammad ﷺ with bad words. The Prophet was covered with cuts and bruises and was bleeding. But he forgave them and prayed for them. He said, "O Allah, give me strength to serve you. The people of Taif don't know me. Forgive them and show them the path of Islam." Here, we need to judge ourselves. Do we love everyone like this? Do we care for others' guidance? Do we feel sad when people disobey Allah's rule? Do we forgive others? Do we pray for those who hurt us? Please, my friends, we need to increase these feelings in our hearts. Otherwise, we won't be able to spread Allah's message. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to follow the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and be better Muslims. Ameen. Jazakallah.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya 'ala salah. Hayya 'ala salah. Hayya 'alal falah. Hayya 'alal falah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
Quran narrates many stories from the past for us so that we learn the lessons from them. One of the such stories is mentioned in Surah Al-Fil. Future firefighter Asad Muhammad will now tell us more. Asad Muhammad?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alam tara kaifa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashabil fil. Alam yaj'al kaydahum fi tadlil wa arsala alayhim tayran ababil tarmihim bijaratin min sijil faj'alahum kasfin makul. Once upon a time, there was a king named Ibrahim. He wanted to destroy the Kaaba. Instead of no one coming to his city, he tried to destroy the Kaaba, but then people hide it from a mountain. Then Allah created a bird flying. And then it dropped a rock and they got killed by eating my castle.
MashaAllah. The Prophet who is mentioned the most in the Quran will have the chance to speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let us know more about this Prophet from a speaker who loves skating and watching cartoons. And her brother got her name by this Prophet's name. A warm welcome for Hibak Ashif for Prophet Musa alayhi salam. Hibak Ashif.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hiba and my story is about Prophet Musa alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam is the most mentioned commonly in Holy Quran. Musa alayhi salam was born at the time of Quran, also known as Pharaoh. So one time Quran had a dream that a baby boy from the Banu Israel will destroy his kingdom. So he told the soldiers that every baby born at the Banu Israel should be killed. So Musa alayhi salam's mother had a plan when she heard soldiers were coming. She put Musa alayhi salam in his basket and left him at the river Nile and floated towards Asya alayhi salam, a pious woman. So that she started taking care of him. So Musa alayhi salam grew up there and moved to Madian. After a few years, Allah Almighty told him to go back to Egypt. On the way there, Allah sent two miracles. One was when he threw the stick on the ground and it was surface. Second, when he put his hand under his armpit, it grew great light. When he was there, he told the miracles. So then he said, "You're magicians." So one time he called all his magicians and tried to do, and they did the same trick as Musa. So they threw pieces of rope on the ground that turned into small snakes. When Musa threw the stick on the ground, it turned into a big serpent and ate all the other pieces of rope. So then the magicians realized that this is no magic, what a miracle. So then they looked down in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and said, "We believe in the faith of Musa." So then they started to travel through the Red Sea without Musa. Musa decided to go to the Red Sea with all the magicians. So when Pharaoh learned of the escape, he started following them. So when they arrived, they saw Pharaoh and his soldiers behind him. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them to touch his stick on the water, then it opened a dry path for them to cross. When Pharaoh and his soldiers were at the middle, it closed and turned back to normal. So then Pharaoh and his soldiers drowned and Pharaoh died. So in this story it tells us how we should follow the right path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala according to the Quran path and the Sunnah of Muhammad, peace be upon him.
Our environment is changing and not always for the best. Every Muslim's responsibility to care for it. We have among us a future environmentalist who has great hopes for Muslims who will do their part to make this earth a better place. Mujtaba on the importance of caring for the environment. Mujtaba?
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before I start my talk, I'm going to quickly brief over what the environment is, exactly what it includes. Usually, when I think of the environment, I picture anything that's green. Come to think about it, it's far more comprehensive than that. The environment actually also habitats for animals we see around us, and even animals we can't see with the naked eye. The environment also includes various ecosystems, from aquatic to mountainous. This natural world is affected by humans, often negatively. Why caring for the environment is our responsibility as Muslims. The corruptors of the earth, whether those who deny God, practice injustice, or go against the universal laws, are referred to by the following Quranic verses. There is a type of man who speaks about this world's life may dazzle him, and he calls to Allah to witness about what is in his heart, yet he is the most contentious of enemies. When he turns his back, his aim everywhere is to spread mischief through earth and destroy crops and cattle, but Allah loves not mischief. Allah is stating that He does not like mischief, meaning the waste or destruction of environment. Another example is, seek not mischief in the land, for Allah loves not those who do mischief. Al-Qasas, verse 77. The Prophet said, Anas ibn Malik, may Allah be pleased with him, reported that the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, said, if the hour, meaning the day of judgment, is about to be established, and one of you is holding a palm shoot, let him take advantage of even 1 second before the hour is established upon it. All these Quranic verses and hadiths are indicating that we should be cautious of how we treat the environment and also care for the environment. Why should we care for the environment? Obviously, we're all familiar with the environment. It makes our surroundings and affects our ability to live on Earth. But we don't often think about it. What happened if the environment was too polluted, it wasn't a safe habitat for humans and animals? Nobody wants to think about these thoughts, but that doesn't mean we should abandon them. Allah says in the Quran, chapter 30, verse 41, ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس ليذيقهم بعد التي عملوا لعلهم يرجعون. Corruption has appeared throughout the land and sea by reason of what the hands of people have earned so. You may let them taste part of the consequence of what they have done. Perhaps they will return to righteousness. This ayat signifies that Allah does not approve of the corruption of land. And if we corrupt the land, it will turn against us. Today, we find ourselves carelessly wasting the water, which Allah has so bountifully filled our taps with. Did you know, in Canada, every day, approximately 329 liters of water, I think of it as 329 water bottles, is used per person every day. Studies prove about 95% of the water used has gone down the drain. 312 liters go down the drain every single day. Abdullah ibn reported, the Messenger of Allah, peace and blessings upon him, passed by Saad while he was performing wudu. The Prophet said, what is this extravagance? Saad said, is there extravagance with water and wudu? The Prophet said, yes, even if you were on the banks of a flowing river. The Prophet is saying to conserve water, even if you can, on a flowing river. We don't see flowing rivers. Alternatively, we see water taps running on and water going down the drain. It's not just the water, it's the whole environment. Today we see pollution surrounding our world. Pollution is contaminants released into the air, causing adverse change. Every time we turn on our car, it is followed by the contamination of air. Therefore, we should follow what Allah says in the Quran and care for the environment. But if we don't, the environment will turn against us. How can we take action? I believe that it is our responsibility as Muslims to take action and prevent the waste and contamination of the environment. We must all remember, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one single step. If you think, I'm just one person, or what difference will I make, you are mistaken. If everyone believes that, there will be no progression. Easy ways to care for the environment. Notice how you use water. Noticing how you use water will prevent the waste of water if you know you're wasting it. Reduce uses of paper. Did you know 1 10 less paper will save 17 trees? Change your driving habits. Driving causes air pollution. An alternative to driving is riding a bike. Riding a bike not only benefits the environment, but also is better exercise. I bet we could all use that. Save energy. Switch the lights off whenever you have the chance. When we use less energy, we save precious natural resources. Look what goes in your trash. Recycle whenever you can. Bag it yourself. Bring your own bags when shopping. This will reduce plastic waste. Take showers instead of baths. This will result in the conservation of water because showers use less water than baths. Buy biodegradable products. Biodegradable products are anything capable of decomposing without harm to the environment. Stay away from disposals. In the Quran, chapter 6, verse 141, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, but waste not for excess, for Allah does not love the wasters. Keep this in mind next time you turn on the tap. It is each and every Muslim's responsibility to care for the environment which Allah has created. This starts today and with every single one of us.
A place where every Muslim aspires to go that is imagined with flowing rivers and lush green beauty with fresh fruits. A great learner who was really intrigued by the concept of Jannah when first introduced by her mother, Aisha Hashmi, will speak to us on the topic of Jannah. Aisha Hashmi.
Jannah is a place where Allah will send the believers as a reward. In Quran, Allah calls Jannah a garden of paradise. The best thing about Jannah is that we will be able to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. People in Jannah will live in beautiful castles with gardens that have rivers and trees full of fruit. People of Jannah will have lots to eat and drink. They will drink from rivers of pearls, water and honey and milk. They won't get sick or have any allergies. People of Jannah will live in peace. They will wear gold and petals and shiny clothes made of silk. May Allah make it the people of Jannah with us. Thank you.
Book 2. A prophet who preached for 950 years the oneness of God to his people were idol worshippers, but they rejected him and ridiculed him. Dara, a student at EIA, an art level, will throw light on the story of Nuh alayhi salam. Dara?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Zara Nura, and today I will be talking about the first of the 5 great prophets, Nuh alayhi salam. The other 4 are Ibrahim, Musa, Isa, and our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Before the time of Nuh alayhi salam, the people started to worship idols. Nuh alayhi salam came to tell these people not to worship idols, but to worship one Allah. He called the people to Islam for 950 years. He lived the longest life of all prophets. After 950 years, only a few people believed in him. His wife and his son did not believe either. The non-believers used to put their fingers in their ears like this when he was inviting them to Islam. Allah told him one day to start building an ark on land. An ark is a large ship. He cried to Allah, the people were not listening to him. All the non-believers made fun of Nuh alayhi salam as it made no sense to them why he was building an ark on land. Allah informed Nuh alayhi salam the exact day when there will be a large flood so he could take all the believers and all the animals on the ark with him. The day of the flood arrived. All the people who believed were on the boat, and so were the animals. They were saved from the water. His wife drowned and his son climbed the highest mountain, and he thought that the water would not come up there, but it did by Allah's command, and he drowned as well. Nuh alayhi salam saw his son drowning and cried again. The lesson we learn from the story of Nuh alayhi salam is to not give up and have patience. Nuh alayhi salam came to call the people to Allah for 950 long years and kept on trying without giving up. So we should keep trying to do our best and have faith in Allah and never give up, just like Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. Jazakallah khairan for listening and learning with me.
Can everyone please proceed to the stage for Jamaat? Friendly and kind, who loves to share knowledge, Jalal Hajar will present us on today's topic, family in Islam. Jalal Hajar?
This time from once again have this great opportunity to speak about the importance of the family in Islam and the great blessings that Allah is giving us with every moment we spend it together. Rabbi ishrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Family in Islam and politics. to always look after each other and advise each other. The calm of the family is resilience. Understand the importance of maintaining family relations is illness. The Holy Quran says, and be careful of God in whose name you demand for one another. The ties of a relationship shows God is ever watchful over you. Maintaining the bands of kinship is called Sunnat al-Rahim in Arabic. The exact meaning of the root word of it is Rahim, which means have mercy on the two of Allah's 99 names, Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. These are some of Allah's characteristics. You should always try to act on these and be merciful and forgiving towards our family, especially our beloved mothers and fathers. Allahumma nawwir qulubana binur al-Quran ya Rahman ya Rahim. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Cleanliness is half of our deed. How can we keep our body and the surroundings clean? Zainab Gill, who is aiming to become a policewoman, is going to explain to us about cleanliness and purity. Zainab Gill?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Zainab Gill and today I will be talking about cleanliness and purity. Cleanliness and nadafa is very important in Islam. Nadafa means to be free from dirt and bad smells. Muslims should always do their best to be clean, very clean and dress nicely. Hadith about purity. Al-Tahur Shatul Iman. The Prophet Muhammad said, purity is half of faith. What is tahara? Tahara means purity and cleanliness. Najasa is the opposite of tahara and is a human or animal waste. If you touch najasa or something impure, you need to clean yourself by washing your body with water or by taking a shower in order to purify the parts which have become najasa. Keep your body clean. One, by taking a bath regularly, which Prophet Muhammad taught us to do, especially before Friday prayer Jummah. Two, by keeping your teeth clean. The Prophet Muhammad said, use wax for cleans your mouth and pleases your Lord. Three, keep your hair neat and your nails cut. The Prophet Muhammad saw a man with messy hair and told him to comb his hair. And he also told us to keep our nails short and clean. Four, observe Islamic etiquette of using the bathroom. Enter bathroom with left foot and say the dua. Allahumma inni a'udhika min al-khubthi wal kaba'ir. Oh Allah, protect me from impure and devils. Use the bathroom alone. After finishing using the bathroom, wash yourself with water. Before exiting the bathroom, wash your hands or rip your boots. Don't take help or spend extra time. Say Ghufranaka means, Oh Allah, I seek your forgiveness and exit the bathroom with your right foot. Keep your clothes clean and neat. Allah said in Surah Al-Mudaththir, وَثِيَابَكَ فَطَهِّرْ, and purify your clothes. Keep your surroundings clean. One, by keeping your home clean. Two, by keeping your school clean. Three, by keeping your masjid clean. Keep the earth clean and green. Prophet Muhammad said, to remove litter or harmful things from this world is dirty. Jazakumullah khairan for listening to my speech, and I hope you all learned something meaningful today.
God can change people with her words. Jiwa Khan loves writing, speaking, and poetry. She believes that everyone has the potential to make a change, which is the topic she will be speaking to us about today. So Jiwa Khan.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. A lot of you may be wondering, a lot of the speakers here are very talented young children, mashallah. What is this teenager doing here? Okay, so my name is Sajiha Wakar, and the reason I'm here is actually part of what I'm going to be talking to you about today. So let me start by saying, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, let me tell you a story about me. Ever since I was little, I've always been amazed at the idea of these certain people who are so special that the whole world knows their name. People who believed in something and fought so hard for it that society couldn't help but recognize them. People who have literally changed the world. I always thought, whoa, I want to be one of these people. But then at a certain point, I thought, I can't. So I gave up on that, and like the rest of society, I thought it was just a childish fantasy that I'd grow out of one day. But in the back of my mind, I always thought that if I'm here, the world should be different after I leave it because of a contribution that I made. And later, way down the line, I realized that the only thing holding me back from making a change was my mindset. Once I learned to change that mindset, I realized that it isn't that hard. The problem was that I thought making a change meant that I had to be recognized, that I had to be remembered. I thought that the change was me, but it wasn't. The change wasn't me, it was what I did. The whole time, I was chasing the title when I was missing the entire point. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put all of us here for a purpose, and us using the talents He gave us to do good, us taking the blessings He gave us and putting them to work for His cause, that's what change really is. And change isn't about numbers. Change isn't about fame. Change is about impact. And most importantly, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Change is about intention. Once I realized that I wanted to benefit myself and others, that's when I realized that all making a positive change takes is the right intention, the right goal. And that goal, ultimately, should be pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the way we please Allah is by showing Him that we aren't wasting the blessings He gave us, that we aren't taking the things He gave us for granted. We're using them to better the world and the people around us that He put us in. And get one thing straight. If any of you are thinking, I'm not good for anything, I'm useless, there's no strengths that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me, let me just say something that Donald Trump would say. You're wrong. All of us have some strength. All of us have something that we're good at. Because when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us Muslims the gift of La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah, He saw potential in us. Have any of us ever thought that out of millions and billions of people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose us to be given this gift of being Muslim? I can confidently say that none of us have no strengths, because I myself, like many other people, used to think that I wasn't good at anything. But then I developed a love for words, for speaking, for writing, for poetry. And I never thought that me, the girl who used to fail presentations in front of her class, who couldn't stand in front of 5 people and give them a presentation, would love standing here in front of you guys and speaking to you today. And that's the reason that I'm standing in front of you today. That's the strength that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me, because this isn't something I'm doing for my parents. I could have easily said, Mom, I feel weird being the oldest person here. I'm 182 months old, how long is this going to go on? But I saw an opportunity for me to put to use the gift Allah gave me, and hope that He puts barakah into my words so that they may inspire others. At the end of the day, you could be doing anything. You could be watering a plant because you're good with plants. You could be writing a book. You could be producing a film that portrays Muslims the way we want to be portrayed. But although there are many creative ways that we can work towards making a positive change, nothing can amount to anything until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts barakah into it. And get one thing straight. It isn't about the number of people that you're appealing to. If there were only 2 of you in front of me right now, it shouldn't make a difference in the message that I preach, because I'm doing this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another thing is, a lot of people see the state that our world is in. We see the state that our ummah is in, and we start to lose hope. We think that if I do anything, it won't make a difference, because everything just keeps getting worse. But if have hope in ourselves, who will? Hope will only stop existing when we stop letting it exist. Lastly, I'd like to clarify that this is more of a reminder to me than it is advice to you. And that's because the most important thing to remember is that before working to benefit others and change others, we need to work on improving ourselves. Because if you look at it, true da'wah to Islam, it isn't about the lectures we give people or how we correct them or if we tell them what's halal and haram. It is how we treat people and how we carry ourselves that inspires people. When they see that Muslims are the most honest, most hardworking, the kindest to their parents, the softest to their children, most respectful to their teachers, most active of their youth, most humble of people, that's when you'll see what Islam is all about. That's when they'll start to look up to us. Actions truly do speak louder than words, but only when these actions are done for the right purpose can they reach others. And we can't carry the weight of the world on our shoulders when we can't even support our own selves. Let me conclude with something that I often tell myself. Changing the world doesn't mean having everyone know your name. It means doing all you can to change at least a part of it, even if that starts with just a simple smile. That smile could make someone's day, and even if it doesn't change the whole world, it surely will change their world. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.
Allah says in Surah An-Nisa, if you avoid the major sins which you are forbidden, we will remove you from any lesser sins and admit you to a noble entrance into paradise. A future artist and singer, Fatima Mahmoud, is going to show us with the Nasheed, Major Sins.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, I seek refuge with Allah, the Lord of mankind, the King of mankind, the God of mankind, from the evil of the whisperer, who whispers evil in the hearts of man, who withdraws from his whispering in one's heart after one remembers Allah, who whispers in the hearts of mankind, of jinn and man. I seek refuge with Allah, I seek refuge with Allah, have mercy on our souls, obey your Lord, submit to Him, avoid the danger of the major sins, obey your Lord, repent to Him, avoid the danger of the major sins, obey your Lord, surrender to Him, avoid the danger of the major sins, obey your Lord, submit to Him, avoid the danger of the major sins, stay away from the major sins, ignore the whispers of the shayateens, oh Lord, have mercy on our souls, stay away from the major sins, ignore the whispers of the shayateens, oh Lord, have mercy on our souls. Avoid the footsteps of Shaitan, who's plotting, scheming 24/7, trickery, deception, falsehood, lies, anything to keep you with a fire in line. He'll tell you anything that you want to hear. He'll be your friend when no one else is near. But no matter what he says, he's a stone cold liar. He only wants to keep you with a fire in line. Stay away from the major sins. Ignore the whispers of the shayateens. Oh Lord, have mercy on our souls. Stay away from the major sins. Ignore the whispers of the shayateens. Oh Lord, have mercy on our souls. Have mercy on our souls.
performance. Masajids are an important institution of our society.
What role should they play in nurturing and guiding our ummah? Let's hear from a future da'i who is very passionate about the seerah of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why he is taking teaching seerah to children on YouTube. Ibrahim Mahmoud will now brief us on our mosque.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. The topic of my talk is our mosques. Have you ever seen a child imitating the mu'adhin in the mosque? And if you have seen this child in the masajid, then what did the imam do with him after? Made him a murgha? And if you don't know what murgha is, you can Google murgha punishment and you will find out what it is. So, is this imam supposed to encourage this child or discourage this child? This topic popped up in my mind from my own personal experience at my local mosque. A couple months back, my mom prepared me to give the adhan in my local mosque, and my dad was with me. And so when he went up to the imam, you know what he said? He was like, "No, akhi, he's too young to get the evil eye." My dad tried to explain to him that he didn't want to discourage me, as I worked so hard to give the adhan that day, but the imam was 100% sure that I would get the evil eye. And I was watching all that. But why don't the imams get the evil eye? Or is the evil eye just for us kids? Let me clarify one thing, that it wasn't that we would always make the same request to the imam and he was fed up with us. No, it was only my first time asking him to give the adhan. So many questions popped up in my head while standing there, but I didn't ask the imam. Isn't this mosque ours? Our community mosque? Or is it just our mosque during Ramadan fundraising? Like now, me and my brother are going to finish memorizing the Quran, alhamdulillah, and my mom is already planning to take us back home to lead the Tarawih for at least once. I don't want to go, but she knows that no mosque here will accommodate us, alien kids. And you know, when we were planning to start this event regularly, one mosque told us such a big budget out of our reach, and the other mosque took so long in deciding. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best of planners. Subhanallah. Anyway, once a group of teenagers were messing around and imitating the mu'adhin, Bilal radiallahu anhu. When the adhan was over, the imam ordered for the boys to be brought to him. When the boys were there, he asked, "Who among you just made the adhan?" The boys, feeling shy and embarrassed, all pointed to the loudest among them. So the imam sent all the boys away except that one boy. That boy feared that he was going to be punished because he made fun of Bilal radiallahu anhu. But the imam asked him, "Make the adhan now." And when the boy stood up, he didn't know what to do because he was only copying the mu'adhin, Bilal radiallahu anhu, and he was not a Muslim at that time. So the imam taught him the words of the entire adhan, one at a time. And when the boy was done, the imam rewarded him with a bag of silver and then touched his hand on the boy's face and chest and then prayed, "Oh Allah, bless this boy." And at that moment, the boy's heart got filled with love for the imam and he became a Muslim. So the boy asked the imam, "Will you appoint me at the post of mu'adhin in newly conquered Mecca?" So the imam ordered for his request to be fulfilled. Do you know who was this imam and who was this boy? And with due respect, our elders at our masajids know this imam better than us. The boy was Abu Mahzura radiallahu anhu, and the imam was our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. teach our parents how to treat their children, their kids. But it is easily fitting in how an imam is supposed to treat the children at the mosques, right? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam could have just given that boy one glance and then go away, right? That was an option too. But he touched his face and chest and then rewarded him and then appointed him as mu'adhin. Is there any imam in our whole entire city of Edmonton who knows how to bring our youth back on track, rub their hands on our faces and chests, and then reward us? Is there any? If any of us kids, not parents, walks up to the masjid door, the people might just stop him at the door and take out their haram and say, brother, your hair is haram, your ears are haram, and if the peg is a little down, your dress is haram. Everything is haram. Being happy in the masjid is haram. Laughing is haram. Running is haram. Haram, haram, haram. Is that kid ever going to come to masjid again? I'm not telling you that these things are halal or I permit them. But look, the masjid is like a hospital where people from any culture, Asian, Somali, Arab, or convert can come and the imams should cater to all their needs. Because you know, one time I overheard a convert saying that they should make their own masajids that will entertain their own needs. Why can't we accept people the way they are? You know, when Gamal bin Tha'lab, the chief of Sa'd bin Bakr tribe, came to the Prophet, he had long hair divided into two braids, and he approached the Prophet and said, I will ask you a few things harshly, but you are not to be offended. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, ask whatever you want. Subhanallah, he didn't take out his haram and say, is this how you talk to the Prophet of Allah? No, not at all. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya bani Adam khudu zinatakum 'inda kulli masjid. O son of Adam, take your adornment to every masjid. But this doesn't mean that we only beautify our clothes, but we should also beautify ourselves emotionally and psychologically. The masajids are a place where we kids can hang out. And we need a masajid because that's a place for us kids to hang out, and not just a place to pray. Where are we going to find good friends? And where are those good friends going to meet each other? In the house of Allah, in the masajids. But most of the activities in the masajids are not child-friendly. It's not fun to just go to the masjid and listening to the dry, scary talks. We kids love to be intellectually challenged so that we don't lose our talents. When our talents are identified and the entire community invests in those talents, then we will rise. Can you imagine young people, kids from our own community, giving the khutbahs, going to talk shows, and answering people to those who hate Islam? Can you imagine such a day? It's incredible. Then we don't need to hire imams from Morocco and Egypt and all those Arab countries, right? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَلْتَكُنْ مِنْكُمْ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. Meaning, out of you, a group should rise that is made of people from us, and their job will be to call people to good. And this will only happen when the entire community, including the mosques and imams, identify the talents we kids have. There are many examples, like of Abu Mahzura radiallahu anhu in our community. And I wish we had examples of that imam who identified his talent and brought him back on track in our community. Barakallahu wa lakum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
If God has given us a guidelines about each and every aspect of life. We have been given a gift and we need to share it. Welcome our future social activist and public speaker, Musbira, on the topic Islam could make this world a better place. Musbira?
My name is Ms. Fran. Today I'm going to talk about climate change in Islam. I chose to say a few words about this because people think of Islam as just a religion. It is not a religion, it is al-Din, a complete way of life. It is a matter for us with guidance for each and every aspect of our lives, including our surroundings. Our surroundings include both living and non-living. Our misuse of creation of Allah has created the monster we call climate change. Before I tell you and how some people treat our environmental let's talk about climate change first. Climate change is the biggest challenge facing our world at this moment. Majority of us are in deep something about it. So what is climate change? Climate change or warming is the process of our planet heating up. The Earth is warmed up by an average of 1 degree in the last century, and although that might not sound like much, it means good things for people and wildlife around the world. No, rising temperatures don't just mean that weather gets hurt. Rather, the changing climate will actually make your weather more extreme and unpredictable. As temperatures rise, some areas will get wetter and lots of animals and humans will find they're not able to adapt to the changing climate. What causes climate change? Burning fossil fuels, farming, and deforestation. All of the above, if done in moderation or as needed, will be that harmful. But we as humans have exhausted all our resources, and that is also a threat to the animals. Prophet Muhammad said that don't kill animals for fun. And he also advised us not to eat meat every day. He also mentioned to fill 1/3 of your stomach with food, 1/3 of water, and keep 1/3 empty. He also advised us to use no more than a cup of water to make our wudu, and imagine how much water we waste. In one of his hadiths, he says that don't waste water even if you live next to a river. He strongly prohibited Muslims from destroying trees and other resources for fun. Islam encourages us to lead a modern way of life. Islam also encourages us to use only what you need and not what you want. We don't need to live a loving way of life just as trash. For example, sharks are being hunted down for their fins for a luxury dish in Vietnam and China. Same things happen to elephants, hippopotamus, and other shredded plants. Animals have gone extinct because of our careless and unfaithful behavior. If we want our future generations to have a planet that is clean, safe, and a resourceful place, we need to start working right now on small stuff, like starting at our own homes. Modifying our lifestyles, because as Robert Swan famously said, the greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it.
As a reminder of the day of judgment to all of us, Surah Al-Haqqa will be recited by a great dreamer who wants to end the plastic problem from the world. So hail Muhammad for a recitation of Surah Al-Haqqa.
In the last section of Surah Al-Haqqa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the disbelievers of Makkah that you think the Quran is the word of a poet or soothsayer, whereas it is a revelation sent down upon Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The messenger by himself had no power to increase or decrease a word in the Quran. If he forged something of his own composition into the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would have cut off his neck vein. For this is the truth absolute and pure, and those who give it a falsehood will eventually remorse and regret. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فلا أقسم بما تبصرون وما لا تبصرون إنه لقول رسول كريم وما هو بقول شاعر قليلا ما تؤمنون ولا بقول كاهن قليلا ما تذكرون تنزيل من رب العالمين ولو تقول علينا بعض الأقاويل لأخذنا منه باليمين ثم المتقين وإنا لنعلم أن منكم مكذبين وإنه لحسرة على الكافرين وإنه لحق اليقين فسبح باسم ربك العظيم. جزاك الله خيرا. السلام عليكم.
MashaAllah, beautiful recitation. Taking a genuine interest in your family, friends, neighbors, and even strangers is one of the most rewarding things you can do. A 7-year-old princess, Asiya Ahmed, for serving others. Asiya?
Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Man nafasa an mu'minin kurabatan min kuraba dunya nafasa Allahu anhu kurbatan min kurabi yawm al-qiyamah." Whoever relieves the hardship of a believer, Allah will relieve his hardship on the day of judgment. This means if I make it easy for someone, then Allah will make it easy for me to enter paradise or Jannah. I thought of some ways that I could serve others. For example, I could help get a toy from some high place for my sister. I could help with laundry, or I could help bake or cook in the kitchen. I could give water to my dad in a glass. I could put my baby brother to sleep. And last of all, I could play with my siblings when they are wanting to play. I hope that some of you could use these examples through your life to help you enter Jannah or paradise. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
A topic with confident star who recently learned how to perform Salah, Zainab Hashmi, is going to inform us on the topic of Salah. Zainab?
Assalamualaikum. My name is Zainab, and today I'm going to talk about namaz. Namaz is the best way to worship Allah Ta'ala. Namaz keeps you close to Allah Ta'ala. Namaz keeps you away from shaitan. Namaz is from keeping namaz on time, so you can go to Jannah.
Great job, Zainab. Future engineer Fahil, who is passionate about cricket and soccer, will elaborate about the importance of prayer. Fahil?
Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Respected elders and dear brothers and sisters, I welcome you all with the Islamic greetings. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I will talk about the importance of prayer in Islam. Prayer or salah is the form of worship that a Muslim offers 5 times a day regularly. It is an obligation upon a Muslim, and a Muslim has to offer no excuse when it comes to offering prayer. It is the second pillar of Islam and is performed facing towards the Kaaba in Mecca. Salah or prayer is the Arabic word whose basic meaning is communication and the worshipper's body and clothing as well as the place of prayer must be cleaned. The establishment of prayer is emphasized in the Quran more than anything else. Allah says in the Quran, in chapter 2, verse 153, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الصَّابِرِينَ, which means, O you who have believed, seek help through patience and prayer. Indeed, Allah is with the patients. The performance of prayer 5 times a day is considered vital to attain success in this life and the hereafter. Every deed, whether good or bad, that a Muslim undertaken in this life, he or she has to be answerable for it in the afterlife. The actual reward will truly be realized when Allah Almighty will shower blessings on that person. Allah says in the Quran, in chapter 2, verse 277, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَأَقَامُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتَوُا الزَّكَاةَ وَلَهُمْ أَجْرُهُمْ عِندَ رَبِّهِمْ وَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ, which means, indeed, those who believe and do righteous deeds and establish prayer and give zakah will have their reward with their Lord, and there will be no fear concerning them, nor will they grieve. Praying 5 times a day engages the believer in constant remembrance of Allah and keeps him away from any unjust deeds and leads him only to deeds that earn pleasure of Allah. It is through prayer that one really finds inner peace and fulfillment. It is also a source of patience, courage, hope, confidence, inner peace, stability, equality, unity, and an expression of thankfulness to Allah. وَآخِرُ دَعْوَانَا أَنِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ.
Dua is a form of worship. It is a direct outlet to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which gets us closer to Him. Homeschooler is one who is willing to be a surgeon. Ayman Jawad is going to speak to us about the power of dua. Ayman?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداعي إذا دعان. And when my servants ask you, O Muhammad, concerning me, then answer them, I am indeed near. I respond to the invocations of the supplicant when he calls on me, without any mediator or intercessor. Subhanallah, the words of this ayah we begin with, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي. So it begins with إِذَا. إِذَا means when. In Arabic, إِذَا means when. Okay, so what's the difference between when and if? Let me tell you a story. There's a mother, she sent her son to join the army and he went to war. Now she's missing her son and there's no contact between them, right? She doesn't really hear back from him. So when you talk to her about her son, well, she says, if my son comes back, I'll be very happy, or when my son comes back, I'll be very happy. Which one does she say? She says, when my son comes back, I'll be very happy, because if she says, if my son comes back, I'll be very happy, then she has accepted that he will die in the war, right? So when she's saying, when my son comes back, I'll be very happy, then she's expecting him to come home, right? When you lose someone and you really want them to come back and your heart cannot accept that they won't come back, you don't say if, you say when. Allah says, when my slaves ask you. He does not say if my slaves ask you. Why? Because He's not saying, oh, maybe they won't ask. Allah is expecting you to ask. He wants you to ask. It's like Allah is saying, when are you going to ask? Subhanallah, إِذَا there's tawakkul, there's an expectation, there's talab, there's love inside the word إِذَا. He would have said, in sa'ala, if they ask. Rather, he said, إِذَا سَأَلَ, when they ask. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي. And he didn't say سألك هؤلاء, these people, سألك الذين آمنوا, those who believe, سألك المؤمنين, the believers. He didn't say like that. He said إذا سألك عبادي, my slaves. Right? He said عبادي, the E at the end of عبادي, it means I or my slaves, right? He uses I or my like 2 times in the Quran. There are only 2 situations where he uses I or my. Once is when he has lots of love, or one is when he has lots of anger. And in this ayah, of course, it's lots of love, right? The ayah also does not say, tell them. Here's what the ayah says. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي أَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. When they ask you about me, then I am near. Then I am near. What is missing? Then tell them is missing. فَقُلْ لَهُمْ إِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. There's no فَقُلْ لَهُم. Why isn't there فَقُلْ لَهُم? Why isn't there any tell them? Because the people came to ask Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah didn't tell Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you go tell them. Allah said, no, I'll tell them myself because I'm so near. Okay, so inna in Arabic is used for removing any types of doubt or suspicion, right? Allah is saying, he uses inna in that word. He says, فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. I am indeed near. There's no doubt that I'm near, right? Why do you think I would go? I would go away from you. You turn your back on me. I never turn my back on you. You disobeyed me. You stopped loving me. You became distant. I stay near. And the word qareeb, which means I'm always near, right? Certainly, I'm always near. When the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam is told, when people ask you about me, right? What is the most important thing that Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam has to tell the people, right? What name of Allah or which attribute? He says that he is near. Why? Why is the near so important? Because when he is near, it's easier for you to talk to him, right? Allah says, Ujibu, I respond. Then he says, Da'wat ad-da'i. They're so powerful words, right? So some people say, I only make dua like once a year. Like when you have exams, Ya Allah, I have an exam, Ameen. Now if someone makes a lot of dua, you use the word dua. But if someone makes dua just one time, you call that da'watan. Allah says, I respond to even the one call. The guy who made dua how many times? Only one time. Allah did not say to him, where were you all? You never made any salah. You only made dua once in your whole life, right? And you think I'm going to respond? Like, no, Allah doesn't say that. Allah is giving you like the chance. In the word da'wat, and He's saying, I will even answer the person who never ever makes dua, only made dua one time. Even if they say, Ya Allah, He will answer. Don't say to yourself, oh, I don't wear a hijab, I don't have a beard, I don't pray, or anything like that. Allah won't answer me. It's not going to go like that, right? Allah is always going to answer your dua. Never think Allah will not answer the dua for even the person who makes only one dua. Ask Allah something with complete faith of receiving it. Allah will for sure give it to you, inshallah. Jazakallahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
MashaAllah. Prophet Muhammad told us many rights of a Muslim over another. Let's know about these rights from Sayyidina Dua, who is working towards becoming a chemist. Tara for the rights of a Muslim.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hey Sarah,
Did you know it is the right of a Muslim on another Muslim to say wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu when a person says salam?
Oh really? I never knew that. Wa alaikum assalam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hey, oh I remember what to say. Wa alaikum assalam.
Achoo! Alhamdulillah. Did you know it is the right of a Muslim on another Muslim to say Yarhamukallah when a person sneezes and says Alhamdulillah?
I got it. Yarhamkallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Achoo! Alhamdulillah.
Yarhamkallah. I remember what to say.
Would you like to join me for dinner today?
Actually, I'm a little busy.
Did you know that it is a right of a Muslim on another Muslim to accept an invitation?
Really? In that case, I'll be there, inshallah.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Where are you going?
I am on my way to meet Sister Aisha. She is sick. Would you like to join?
Actually, I've got some things to do.
Did you know that it is the right of a Muslim on another Muslim to visit the sick?
Really? Then let's go. Assalamu alaikum, Zara.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Why do you seem to be so upset today?
Sister Aisha has passed away.
I know that it is a right of a Muslim on another Muslim to attend their funeral. Let's go. Let's revise the 5 rights of a Muslim on another Muslim. The first right is to respond to a salam.
The second right is to say Yarhamakallah when a person sneezes.
The third right is to accept an invitation.
The fourth right is to visit the sick.
And the fifth, the last but not the least right is to attend a funeral. Jazakallahu khair.
Fabulous performance. Now Tahrim Adris is going to recite 2 ayahs from Surah Al-Baqarah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإن تبدوا ما في أنفسكم أو تخفوه يحاسبكم به الله فيغفر لمن يشاء ويعذب من يشاء والله على كل شيء قدير آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين صدق الله العظيم.
Beautifully recited. MashaAllah. Human nature desires a society based on morals and manners. Let's hear what her Islamic manners are from a young princess, Anabia, grade 2 student who is ambitious to become an architect. Anabia Ashrafi for Islamic manners. Anabia?
Today I'll be talking about manners in Islam. Manners are a very important part of a Muslim's habits that we should all have are respecting our parents. A mother is a child's first teacher. If a child is raised in a good cycle, then it would be natural for him to treat his parents respectfully. Good relations with relatives. Allah Ta'ala has commanded us to have good relations with our extended family. It is our duty as Muslims to stay in touch with our relatives, visit them, and exchange gifts with them too. Caring for fellow Muslims. All believers are brothers and friends. We should be friendly with our fellow Muslims and say salam to them whenever we see them. Allah Ta'ala describes the believers in the Quran as people who are merciful towards each other. Guarding the Quran, saying the word is a type of remembrance of Allah. According to the Prophet, the best Muslim is the one from whose tongue other Muslims will say. Parents should tell the children that they should be very careful while using their tongues, avoiding backbiting and lying. Children should be taught that backbiting is talking badly about a person in their absence, insulting people in their presence, by making rude facial expressions or by hand gestures while they are unaware. It's also forbidden in Islam. Truthfulness. Children must be taught to tell the truth and to keep away from lying, which is the most terrible habit. The Prophet said the liar receives the anger of Allah on the day of protecting the honor. Among the worst of manners is insulting people and swearing at them. If this bad habit is not corrected while the child is growing up, it becomes hard for them to avoid it later on. Muslims should be the protector of honor, not destroying it. Islam encourages us to guard our tongue. The Prophet has guaranteed Jannah whoever guarantees what is between his jaws. That is the tongue. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those who have the best of manners.
Good job, Matthew. Let's enjoy dialogue between Pharaoh and Musa alayhi salam, the three Mahmoods.
Quran narrates several conversations between Musa alayhi salam and the Pharaoh. One of the most detailed accounts is in chapter 26, which is Surah Shu'ara, meaning the poets. Musa alayhi salam speaks kindly to the Pharaoh about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about his mercy and about his paradise. But Pharaoh reacts arrogantly. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Qasim. Tilka ayatul kitabil mubin. Qasim. These are the verses of the clear book. When Prophet Musa alayhi salam went to the Pharaoh, the conversation goes like this.
قال فرعون وما رب العالمين.
The Pharaoh said, and what is the Lord of the worlds?
قال رب السماوات والأرض وما بينهما إن كنتم موقنين.
And Moses said, Lord of the heavens and the earth and what is between them, if you should be convinced.
قال لمن حوله ألا تستمعون.
The Pharaoh then said to those around him, do you not hear?
قال ربكم ورب آبائكم الأولين.
Then Moses said, your Lord and the Lord of your first forefathers.
قال إن رسولكم الذي أرسل إليكم لمجنون.
The Pharaoh said, indeed your messenger that has been sent to you has gone mad.
قال رب المشرق والمغرب وما بينهما إن كنتم تعقلون.
Then Moses said, Lord of the east and the west and what is between them, if you were to reason.
قال لئن اتخذت إلها غيري لأجعلنك من المسجونين.
The Pharaoh said, if you take a god other than me, I will surely place you among those imprisoned.
قال أولو جئتك بشيء مبين.
Then Moses said, even if I brought you proof manifest?
قال فأت به إن كنت من الصادقين.
The Pharaoh said, Then bring it if you should be of the truthful.
فألقى عصاه فإذا هي ثعبان مبين ونزع يده فإذا هي بيضاء للناظرين.
So Moses threw his staff, and suddenly it was a serpent manifest. And he drew out his hand. Thereupon it was white for the observers. And instead of believing in Prophet Musa's Lord, Pharaoh became angry and plotted to destroy Prophet Musa and all of his companions. But
فوقاه الله سيئات ما مكروا وحاق بآل فرعون سوء العذاب.
so God saved him from the evils that they plotted against him, while an evil torment encompassed Pharaoh's people. Jazakallahu khayran.
Jazakallahu khair for such a great performance.